Lovely. Good afternoon, everybody. Today's 24th of November, and I am talking today to Emma McGarver, who is Community Council for Somerset's Carer Service Coordinator, and Kath Holloway, who is the Carers Coordinator for Spark in Somerset. They're both going to let us know what their roles are, what they're up to, what is around for carers in Somerset at the moment, and any plans they've got for the future over the next sort of few months and what's coming up. So first of all, I'm going to go to Emma. So Emma, can you tell me about your actual role and then what you are up to at the moment?
Hi, good afternoon, ladies. Happy Carers' Rights Days to everybody. So I am Emma McGarver. I'm the Carer Service Coordinator for Somerset Carers. We are a part of the Community Council for Somerset. We are a free charity organisation that offers unpaid carers support as part of the community. Within that support, we help deliver it through village agents, community agents, home agents. They can help you with a vast amount of problems, including signposting to groups, micro providers, activities local to you, finding local facts, information, benefits advice, all tailored basically specifically to your individual needs. Now, recently I have been on a carers roadshow across Somerset. We went to 12 different sites to try and push a carer awareness. A lot of people don't recognise that they're an unpaid carer. They just see it sort of as part of their job role or what they do for a loved one, a friend, a child. So it was about just getting out there, having the conversations. So some of you may have met me when I was around the county, just offering some support and advice. If you are unsure whether you're an unpaid carer, you can go on our website and there's a little bit of information on there to help you define whether you fit into that sort of role. And then it's lots more advice on there about how you can then take further steps going on from there. My advice to you, if you identify as an unpaid carer for the first time, is first check in with your GPs. They can register you as the carer and the cared for as well, so that they know who's looking after who. They can offer through their GP carers champions and health coaches lots of support and advice. They can offer priority services for unpaid carers, for example, sort of early flu vaccinations and such. Make sure that they're supporting you. Secondly, if you're identifying as unpaid carer, to pop onto our website if you're tech savvy and sign up with us and register. This will give you access to all our newsletters, our advice, our hub, chat forums. It's got lots on there about local support groups, events that are happening, endless amounts sort of information on there. And most importantly, when you sign up, you can select that you are a carer, and if you would like to have a chat with one of our village agents that I mentioned earlier to discuss any needs or identify things to help you, then you can just tick a box to say, I'd like someone to call me back. If you can't go online, there is also a phone number that you can phone, a specific Somerset Carers phone number. That number will appear on the bottom of the screen shortly for you there. And yeah, I think that's all a little bit about us without going into too much depth and boring you. Thank you, Chrissy.
So Emma, what did you find with the road shows? Did you come across lots of carers? Was there people out there that really didn't know that they were actually unpaid carers? They just think that's fine, that's what they do. They look after their child or their partner or sort of like aunt or uncle, but they don't actually see themselves as an unpaid carer.
Yes, we came across a lot of couples caring for each other as well. They didn't know where to reach out, where to look. They kind of just were getting on with it. I think sometimes carers are too, they feel that guilt asking for help, but but they really need to. There is so much help out there and support for them. We don't want them to push themselves too far. We don't want them to burn out. We don't want them to get to a crisis point.
No.
But yeah, I think that's the hardest part. I think off the back of Carers UK report that came out a couple of weeks ago, they were saying it can take sort of about 3 to 6 years for someone to recognise sometimes that they're an unpaid carer, because they are just seeing it as doing their role within like I said, like the family or a friend or a child.
Yeah. And I'm going to go on to Kath now, and then we can have sort of like a general discussion then around the carers. So Kath, good morning, good afternoon. Tell us about your role and what you're involved in. And Spark as well, because people won't know what Spark Somerset is as well.
No, absolutely. So Spark Somerset is a charity that supports all the other charities. So it's a sort of overseeing organisation that steps back from the sort of talking to clients and customers, but supports the charities that are out there to be the best they can be. So that's where my role steps in. It's to support the carers groups, so the groups that are already out there, and starting new groups so that they can run as efficiently and be the best that they can be. So it's blowing an absolute hoolie out there. So I'm not sure. We're having a few glitches this morning with the internet, so do bear with us, everyone. If you are in the Shepton Mallet area, or people who are, this afternoon in Shepton Mallet Library, as part of the Carers' Rights Week, we've actually got a drop-in service. It's actually there. They're available quite often, so it's worth popping in and checking. But they're there particularly this time for carers having the right to access information. And they're ready to support people with, getting onto their NHS app. And, that makes such a difference with your prescriptions. It's really worth doing. But also to just help people get onto things like Facebook, because so many of those groups are, they're on Facebook and people don't know about them. If they can't access Facebook, they're missing out on it unless they see a poster in town or something like that. So it's helping people to feel confident to use Facebook as well, so that they can find out all those things. And I have to admit, I do a lot of advertising on Facebook. And if you are interested in things that are going on with the carers groups, please do link up with me. It's Kath Holloway Spark, because I do post out loads and loads of information about things that are going on. Because although this morning or this afternoon it's pretty hideous, it's still uplifting when you get out. It's still worth doing, even on a day like today. So talking about carers groups, we have got about 20 carers groups running across Somerset. I say about because they're all kind of in different processes and different places. So I always say kind of about. There are lots of them in South Somerset. That's because they always have been, and I always get asked a lot for more in South Somerset. So this is my South Somerset lot. And we've got them in Castle Carey, Kenton Mandeville, Martock, Crewkerne, Yeovil, Chard, Ilminster, Wincanton, Langport and South Petherton. So lots to get out to, quite close to wherever you live in South Somerset. So if you do want to know where they are, let me, just check your local Facebook pages. If you're not on Facebook, you can give me an email or look on the webpage, because it's all on there. Of course, again, lots of people aren't going to be accessing that. So if you do see something and you think of somebody, please do let them know about those groups, because otherwise, they just won't know, and they won't know to look. So in Mendip, we've got 2 running in Wells. We've got 1 in Glastonbury. We've got 1 in Frome, and we're trying to get 1 in Shepton Mallet. We're all ready to go. We just need a volunteer. So, yeah, if anybody out there thinks that they could spare a couple of hours a month to help us out, please do. I know, shameless that, wasn't it? But, it's got to be done. More, we've got Bermondsey running strongly, and we're just working with the hub on the Bridgewater one at the moment. So hopefully that will come very soon. And then in West Somerset, we've got 1 in Dulverton and 1 in Minehead. If you're interested in the Minehead one, it is advertised, but we may be looking at changing the dates on that. So please do phone in to check that, check where it's going to be. So if you just use the main Somerset Village Agents number, which is 01823 331 222 for that one, just to keep yourself updated. And in the Taunton area, we've got one in Taunton and we've got one in Wellington. So lots and lots of groups. At the moment, they're all gearing up for Christmas. So most of them will miss 1 month. Usually it depends whether they're at the end of December and it's over the Christmas period or the beginning of January. But in that sort of blank, cold, no man's land kind of place, we don't tend to run them because people just don't get out of the house and get to them. So, so do, again, just check up with your group leader. And the other thing is all the groups are slightly different. The offer is different. So, if you find you go to one group and you think, oh, this isn't really for me, try another one, because they are all different and they all offer different things. So please do give it a go. And any feedback, come back to me, because obviously my job is to make them suit the people who go to them. So if they're not working for you, let me know so that we can work on that. So what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Some of them run in the morning, some of them run in the afternoon. The big problem, of course, for carers, you're probably saying, yeah, but I work, so I can't go to groups during the day. So we do have an online carers group in the evening as well, and that runs on the 4th Tuesday of the month, and it's at 7:00. And again, go onto the carers website and you'll be able to find the link, and then you can just register with us, and it takes you through to us on the day. I do appreciate that people who are working, again, you've been on a screen all day or you've been busy all day. The last thing you want to do is sit on a screen and give you concentration. I get that. So we do say, look, come and hear what we're doing, but if you want to, turn your video off, turn your mic off, and just use this as radio. You can have the TV on in the background as well if you want to, so you don't miss the football, and just kind of, listen in and see if it's of use to you. So please do give it a go and try it in the different ways that suit you. And, oh yeah, the other thing I was going to say is, of course, the other big problem.
Okay, has Kath just frozen?
I think she's possibly dropped off the internet signal there. Yeah, I think
okay, so that's
don't worry,
fine.
I'll cut this out, and then we'll just wait for her to come back, and then.
Oh, okay.
The other thing I was going to say is, that was like crucial moment, wasn't it? Cliffhanger. So when she's back, we can just start recording again from there.
Okay.
I feel a bit like I was all over the place. I've got it all written down and I'm just a bit.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm sort of like writing bits down as I go. So once Kath has sort of like said,
I'm just going to get my coffee. Rejoin. Got a sick dog at the moment as well.
Oh my word.
Hannah.
Trouble is, her insurance as Luna, and I hadn't my sister's dog, and I'd forgotten to get her insured when we took her in, and so I got it sorted out a few weeks ago, and a week ago she started being sick in the evening, and then she couldn't keep anything down, and then it was like, oh God, what's happening?
Yeah,
£100 injection, anti-sickness didn't work, and then they're like, we've got to bring her back in. I checked the insurance, and it didn't kick in till Monday. And I was like, can you just hang on a little bit longer? Otherwise, I've got 2 grand's worth of x-rays and blood tests coming up. So anyway, she hasn't been sick for 2 days now.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm hoping enough time's gone by that if she is sick again, I can treat it as a new illness and not one from last week, which wasn't insured.
Yeah.
Most
vets are pretty good if you kind of say to them about your insurance, and that they hopefully could try and make it look like a new claim. If you explain the situation to them and just say, can you make it look like a new condition presented on this date, I'm sure they will, hopefully.
That's it. That's what. Well, I think now we're okay that it will be, it should be all right. But she's just so hungry and so sad because she's allowed to find out food for her. She's just getting little bits all day.
Is she keeping them down though, those little bits?
Yeah, now she is. So I've just started introducing
Having £100 worth of injection.
Yeah, well, that didn't seem to do much, but yeah, I think she's just a gannet, so I think she just ate something bad and
As I
then
say, yeah, she's eating something or something viral, and
and
Wait,
just
come out the other end then, Hannah.
oh, it hasn't. It's been a week, but it hasn't yet. But it's just, God knows, she might have something else to get a bit like funny on their necks, don't they? Because she has such a pull on the lead, so I wonder if she's done something to her throat, but I don't know. She seems all right. She's down by my feet now, so hopeful that I'll give her something else. Is it worth calling, Kath?
Yeah, maybe try phoning her, but then I don't know how good her signal is.
I don't know. I don't have any contact numbers for her.
Yeah, I'll just give her a call, Hannah.
Huh?
I'll just give her a call.
Oh, well done.
She might be chatting away and waiting for us to reply and not realise we've dropped off.
Yeah, she may
I've got that talking cafe meeting starting in a minute as well, so I might dip out just to do that. So whenever you're done,
I was going to go to that, but clearly I can't do that now. So
we might have to jump into it a little bit late. Hello, you okay? You've dropped off completely. Oh, completely. Oh, you're cutting out as well.
Oh dear.
Kath, if you can hear me, send me a text if you can. I can't hear you at all, sweetheart. All right, bye. I can barely hear her on the phone, so I'll just wait and see if she texts me.
Yeah.
I kind of got it's completely gone, and then what day?
So when do you, because of editing, Hannah, when do you need this recording to have finished?
It won't take long to edit, so even if it goes out a bit later than 1, it doesn't matter. It's only what we've put an arbitrary time on the things.
I mean, if she can't get back on, I think what she was going to say is she was just going to go, most importantly, about carers accessing the group with their cared for, I think, wasn't she? Is that where we got to?
Yeah.
I can just say that
so we
she
could
has
just start, if she's struggling, we could just start it as, we lost Kath with the bad internet connection today, but what she was going to say is this and that, and then you two carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do that anyway? And then if she comes back in, we can go back to her.
Yeah, then we can splice it in. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so due to the weather, we seem to have lost Kath and with internet issues. So it's not an issue for us because we've still got Emma here. So Emma, you had a little bit of insight into what else Kath was going to talk about. So are you able to do that for us?
Sure, thanks, Kathy. Chrissy. I think Kath was going to go on to say that after hearing carers' voices, she was trying to open up more groups to being able to be accessed by the carer and the cared for, so that they could bring their care for with them. Oh,
and she's back.
Hello. Oh, sorry about that.
We have only just, we've just sort of restarted, Kath, because we wanted, we didn't know how long you were going to be. So Emma was just doing a little bit about what she thought you were going to be discussing about the cared for.
Brilliant. Yeah, fantastic. No, sorry about that, guys. When I said it was blowing a hoolie, I was right.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it'll stay on for a minute. I was trying to log on my phone. That wasn't very well. Fingers crossed, technology and all that. Yeah. So you were talking about the carers groups, weren't you, Emma, and the activity groups? Is that right?
I briefly just covered that you had listened to what carers had said about bringing their cared for with them, and you were trying to open up more groups to being the carer and the cared for coming along. I haven't discussed the specific groups just yet. If you wanted to just cover them.
Oh, fab. Yes. No, thank you. Yes, so the way that we're managing it is we have a qualified instructor who is very secure in teaching things like flexercise and memory games. But don't panic, when it says exercise, it's seated activities rather than exercise. They're very inclusive and they're designed for people to be able to come to and just have fun and work at whatever level they want to. So it could be, so the Yeovil group, we often play bocce and then have a seated exercise, but we change it around, you know, depending on who's there and what they'd like to do and what their needs are. And then they stop and have a coffee as well. And in the meantime, the carers are in a room next door, so that there's no, you know, there's no sort of worries about anything going wrong, because if it did, the carers are next door just to pop their heads in as well. And we've also got volunteers that support the instructors as well. So, you know, it's all going really well. The Yeovil one's been going strong for quite a long time now, and is quite slick and efficient. The Crewcombe one has just started, and we had so much fun. Just the laughs that were coming out of the exercise room were just brilliant. So more of that, please, definitely. We're just starting one in Wincanton, so it'd be lovely to have as many people coming to that one as we can as well. And Kent and Mandeville run one as well, but they tend to work all together, just because the people who join the group, instead of wanting to have two separate rooms, they actually join in and do it all together. So they do activities, have a natter, do a quiz, and just meet up and have a good chat. But there's always people there. There's the health coaches there, for example, that will give you that one-to-one information and support, as well as having a carers group at the same time, as well as doing those activities. So yeah, so quite a lot going on with those. They're doing really well and they're really successful, but they are all grant-based. So although they're free, which is wonderful, please do come along and try them. Obviously, we'll have to reapply for more grants, and we can only do that, of course, if they're successful. So please come along and keep them going.
That's what I was going to ask, actually, Kath, about the cost, and you've just answered my question. So across all of the county and all of the carers groups, they're all free for everybody?
Yes. Now, I hesitate when I say free. What we tend to do, sorry, that sounds scary. It isn't. What it is so some of the time we operate out of local bars and cafes. And the reason we do that is because it's a nice space to go to. It feels like you're going out. It's like a little treat. The bars and cafes give us the room for free, so we don't have to pay for the upkeep on that. And so we would ask you to buy a cup of coffee or something when you're there. So although it is free, there would be the sort of minimum cost of a coffee or a drink or something like that. Some of the groups do ask for a small contribution towards the hall hire, but a lot of them have got a really good set of funds themselves, and so they don't need to ask. So it's a bit of a mixed thing, but we are literally talking, if there is a contribution, it's £1, £2 for your coffee, that's all. So yeah.
Brilliant. And what can, apart from the groups that you've talked about with the loved ones going and they've got all activities, generally what happens at the carers groups? Can they expect, do you have speakers attend to them? Is it a coffee and chat, or knit and natter if they want to?
Yeah, absolutely. Before I say that, one thing I would say is, if anyone is worried that they can't afford a cup of coffee or whatever, obviously we would support them in funding that. So, you know, don't think, oh gosh, I can't afford it, I can't go. Please come along. You know, you're all welcome, and we would support you with that. So, you know, funding isn't a barrier for people to join. So different groups again do different things. Most groups have a speaker that will come in, and we'll book those around the people that carers are asking for. So if there's particular bits of information that people want, such as understanding their finances or finding out about support groups in the area, you know, whatever it is that they're interested in, we find a speaker for. And sometimes speakers come to us and say, look, we'd like to tell people about this, and so we'd ask group, are you interested? And then we would book a speaker. We do games as well. At Langport yesterday, we had some crafters come in, and we just sat round, had a good natter, and made Christmas tree decorations. And actually, do you know what? I didn't, and I'm really cross because I was running around being organising, and everybody else made lovely Christmas decorations, and I missed out. So, but it was really nice. So we do sometimes do bits of crafting as well, or sometimes we just come together for a natter. Because a lot of the carers groups, they say, actually, if you put on too much too often, we don't get to sit and meet each other and just give each other that support and find out what life's like for other people. So a mixture of everything. And like I said earlier, you know, have a look at what's on, phone up the carers, the leaders. They're really happy to talk to you. Some groups put out the speakers like a set of speakers for the year or 6 months. Some of them don't, and that's because we quite like to be responsive to what people want. It's quite nice to kind of swing from group to group and say, oh, what do you fancy next week? Do you fancy just a natter, or should we sort this out? Or, so we do tend to do it on a short basis. And again, we put all that on Facebook. So
lovely.
I know that's annoying for people who aren't on Facebook, but if they just give a call and find out what's going on, then we can do it that way.
Brilliant. What I'm going to do now just is I want to discuss, because I am, for those, because it doesn't say what my role is, but within Community Council for Somerset, I'm the locality manager for the Taunton Deane area. So I manage a team of 11 village and carers agents, and we go from Wellington to sort of like South Somerset, but as you know, there's village agents across the whole of Somerset, and we are not just village agents, we're village and carers agents. So I just want to sort of like spend a couple of minutes talking about what we do. So when you apply to us or refer to us, anybody can refer anybody else to a village and carers agent. And I've just put the email and I've just put the website and the telephone number on the screen. The only thing that we ask for is that the person you refer must have given consent for this referral. So if you're a carer and you need some help, please do. You can either do it through the link that I put on earlier on, which I'll do again, the actual carers link, or you can just phone this number or go onto this website and look for where you could send a referral. So if you need help, you want to get out, you want to go to that carers event, or you want to go and have your hair done, you just need time out for yourself, we can help look at how that can be funded to get somebody to come in and sit for you, so you have a break yourself. So something as simple as that. Carers often don't know that their loved ones can apply for a blue badge. Something as simple as that makes a huge difference to taking your loved one into town, or even to one of these venues where you can go for the carers events, and a blue badge gets you exactly close to it. So something as simple as a blue badge. We do applications for blue badges with people, and then it goes all the way up to you may need help with your loved one to get them washed, dressed, showered in the morning, and we can help find a micro provider to do that, and we can look at the funding for that as well. So are you on the right benefits to be able to claim to afford to get that micro provider in? Are you eligible, and I'm not going to say everybody is because they're not, depending on age and circumstance, for carers allowance. If you're over state pension age, or your loved one's over state pension age, then attendance allowance will cover a lot of the costs that you have. So please get hold of us either through the carers site or through the Love Somerset site on our telephone number, and we are more than happy across all of Somerset, say which area you're in, and then an agent from that area will get back to you and discuss your needs. That's what we are there for. We can also refer to adult social care. So if you need further help and more in-depth help, then we can do direct referrals to adult social care for you, so we can make that process a lot easier for you. So wanted to just get in place because that's who the referral would come through, and we can then work with Emma particularly about what is around and what Emma's got going. We have a few events of our own going on as well, and so just check the website, check the carers website, and let us know if you need that help.
It's that listening ear as well, isn't it? It's
absolutely
that person who will actually sit down and listen to what your needs are and try and troubleshoot with you, where sometimes you feel that some people say they've had a diagnosis and then that was that. So, village agents give those layers of support, don't they, to help you to really understand what's happening and to make those decisions for yourself. So they're really important. They offer a fabulous the service.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I think off the back of that as well, Chrissy, you know, with all the help and the support that the village agents deliver, carers' rights have been focusing on the cost of living crisis this year,
Yes.
you know, and how people are struggling with that. And I know the village agents can help with things like applying for sort of the winter fuel grants, local
That's
household
right. We've
support
got
funds, you know.
That's right. So we can use the
Yeah.
household support fund and also we have just got, we are now going to be administering for the Surviving Winter Grant Fund, and anything related to keeping somebody warm, we can put a grant in for, and that could be, obviously you associate that with topping up gas and electric meters, but having a carpet on your floor is going to keep you warm, having curtains at your window is going to keep you warm, and obviously hot food. So yeah, we administer that, and it is very quick as well, so we don't have to go through a lot of processes to get that money out. So if anybody's struggling, please do get in contact with us. You have to be over the age of 50 for that, though. That's for the Surviving Winter Grant Fund, not for the other grants that we can go for, because there's lots of other grant pots depending on which area of Somerset you're in. But for the Surviving Winter Grant, you need to be over the age of 50.
Yeah. But I mean, it's important for carers to know that, I think, because quite often they have increased costs. For example, if you have someone that who's living with dementia and they're going and turning on heating, or leaving a tap running, you know, or they're in bed all the time, or just very sedentary and can't get up. Just to have something, you know, a decent sort of heated blanket or something that will solve so many problems, won't it? But you know, they cost a lot to run, don't they? So that extra bit of money is a real godsend for some people.
That's right.
So do apply for it. Don't feel shy, people.
No, absolutely. Emma, before we go, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so. I think just.
What's your next event? What's your next plan? Have you got like a spring? What have you got? Have you got anything in the pipeline?
So I'm working at the moment along with the GP Carers Champions, health coaches, just to bring about some support and training for them, so that they can be a lot more carer aware in their practices and help support the carers in our community. Going to a little conference in December with regards to carers. So to connect with a few people to do with the NHS delivering care plan. And then next year we will have Carers Week, which is normally in about June. So I hope to plan a roadshow around then as well, or some events.
And it'll be warmer than the last one. It'll be warmer than November, so we could do some outdoor ones. That would be lovely.
Yes, and maybe some activities, or get people together, or do some kind of event day where, you know, all professionals and carers and care folk can all come together, or something like that.
Have some picnics. That would be lovely, wouldn't it?
You know, now the restrictions are lifted up from COVID, let's try and get back to meeting people face to face.
Absolutely. That's brilliant. So thank you both very much indeed. I'm glad you managed to rejoin us, Kath. And as you say, I'm going to do sort of like one final plug for you, and that is that we need more carer groups in Taunton. And so if anybody's interested in starting a carers group, contact Kath. And I'm just going to, before I go, let me find her little number back here.
Yes, actually, we do have a wonderful volunteer in Taunton, and she's lovely. But we're not having a lot of people joining us, so we're not getting a really vibrant carers group going. So actually, we've got the setup. It's great. We're up at Wellsprings, which is absolutely lovely. It's a really sunny, bright, warm cafe, and it's cheap. Coffee's like proper coffee, nice coffee. I think they only charge about $1.50 a cup, and
they do.
That's right. For a meal, so you can stay on and have a lovely meal. It's just lovely
cakes and homemade food, real homemade food,
and such a warm welcome up there. Yeah, so please, if you can, get up to the Wellsprings. So this is the part of the church. It's the cafe at the front of the church. It's not the sports centre, which I think can be a little bit confusing sometimes, can't it?
And if you can't, sorry, I'm just going to say, if you can't get up there, contact us. because then it might be that because it's care, we can fund a taxi to get you there. So don't let transport put you off getting there. From anywhere in Taunton, we can help get you there.
And actually, that's one thing about over there is parking in the streets and in front of the building, so it's not one of those sort of stressful things that you need to get to, and it's got sort of all disability access as well. I am looking, this is another, like I said, I do need some volunteers for some of my groups as well, and I wouldn't necessarily be asking carers to be volunteers because they've got enough on their hands, but if you know anybody else who has an interest in carers and would be interested in supporting some of our groups, we've got a few groups that are looking, some of them are looking for leaders, some are looking for just that little bit of support because they're so popular they just need an extra couple of people to give them a hand. So again, if you're interested in volunteering, which is a wonderful way of having a mental holiday, and gets you out of the house when it's cold as well, which is rather good.
Absolutely.
So you've got like a busy role and then you go and put your mind into something completely different. It is a bit like a holiday. So yeah, if you are interested, please do give me a shout. So my address was on there before, so do give me an email or have a look at the Spark a Change website, which is if you just type in Spark a Change, it's got all the volunteering things across all the potential things that you could do across Somerset, and it could be from one day to a whole week, depending on what you would like and need. So yeah, if carers groups, it'd be lovely if we have a few more people. So thank you, Christy.
Lovely. You're very welcome. Right, everybody. So thank you both. I will be back doing the Talking Cafe live next week as well, when I am talking to one of the team who are responsible for getting the flu vaccinations out and going. So hopefully a lot of people have had their flu vaccinations, but that is, pardon mine. So yeah, that's what I'm doing next week. So I will see you all next week on Talking Cafe Live, and thank you again for Emma and Kath.
Brilliant. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us along.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Take care.